the very, very big disclaimer, like always, I think you can play all of these jobs. There's not a single job that doesn't work completely, but I believe that balancing here is more of an issue than in PvE because of, yeah, they just throw out this idea of new skill systems and job systems for PvP itself in 6.1. Like, I don't know how many months they spent creating this, but it's actually very good. I think it's the best PvP system we have right now, we ever had in Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm astonished, especially I'm surprised that they pushed this card back for so long and then throw out so much, yeah, kind of highly developed content. So yeah, this is basically a casual tier list. That means it only takes into account the casual version of Crystalline Conflict, because yeah, you basically fighting against other players that don't have much experience. Sometimes you are lucky, you have some people with you that have experience, or you have somebody against you that has a lot of experience in PvP. So there are some jobs that are better in this version and some jobs that are better in the ranked version. So this time we'll basically focus on the casual match setup here. So this is basically where this tier list is all about, and which job you can use to perform quite nicely because you have a lot of burst and you can quickly burst down a team or anything like that. But yeah, like I said, all of them are viable. I think we tested all the jobs now. I played all jobs myself, except for the healers. That's where I just tested the White Mage. But I guess the White Mage is also the strongest part here, and according to your feedback, we can rank them as well. But yeah, always take this with a grain of salt. This is my subjective view, and of course, in Twitch chat, you should throw out your ideas as well. Yeah, low rank is pretty much the same as casual. Yeah, low rank, okay, you can put this together, and of course, some of these assumptions, some of these claims that I do here will also be applied to the rank matchup, so you can just apply that to this form as well. Okay, starting with the Dragoon. I think Dragoon is a very, very, very strong melee job. Might actually be my favorite when it comes to gameplay. Dragoon, in my opinion, is also very powerful. Very, very powerful because of how bursty it is, how much you can do in advance. I love that you can do the back jump in advance and then throw out your Whirlwind Thrust by just using your elusive jump and then, yeah, Whirlwind Thrust, which is very powerful, and you can do that on range already. You can use that very, very early in the fight and give you a very big advantage to start into combat. So, in my opinion, easy S tier, easy S tier. How much stronger it is compared to, in my opinion, a Reaper and Monk, even though I have seen Reapers that really, really performed well. But yeah, I think Reaper is more another topic. Okay, so Ninja. Ninja actually has the same identity. It's very, very quick when it comes to planning stuff. But the biggest thing about Ninja, with nothing to be anywhere close, is this ability. Like, the stealth, and then assassinate, and then you can throw the daggers, and the limit break. I literally killed 3 people with a call out. Like I said, come, let's kill those 3. Let's kill those 3, and we did. We killed all of them, because once you have targets below 50% HP, you automatically kill them with the limit break, and the limit break gets reset, and if you do that another time in a time frame of 10 seconds, it happens again. It happens again. You can kill them in a consecution, and we just achieved to kill 3 people in a row with that. So that's really crazy. I think the potential in ranked and non-ranked, so casual matchup, is so insane. And especially the stealth here has 15 seconds cooldown, and you can use it offensively and defensively. And then you also have Bunshin that you can combine with it. Deals a lot of damage. You have your many versions of your ranged attacks. For example, you have a total setup of range attacks. You can just throw your shuriken after a target, which makes you ultimate flexible. So yeah, you can just get back from combat like that and recover, for example, which is insanely powerful. So from the utility alone, but the kill potential, Ninja might be my absolute favorite when it comes to the gameplay. But yeah, Dragoon is close. Dragoon is also close and very quick, very fast attacks. And yeah, there's another one. You might not believe me, but maybe some of you have seen it with their own eyes. Samurai is just pure fire. If you just look at the defensive skill of the samurai, this one here, Hisatsu Shiten, which will allow you to consume or mitigate 50% of all damage received, but it also grants you a very, very... I think this is actually one we could call broken. This is broken. You do this, you apply this to yourself, and if targets hit you and you have your limit break ready, you insta-kill them. You insta-kill them, and this is an AoE attack. So if 3 people attack you, and we had that in a match already, if 3 people attack you, you use that, and then use your limit break, they're all dead. They're all dead. They lie dead on the ground. The only thing, of course, why it is still not too broken and destroys the game is that dying is not that big of a deal. You can just recover easily if you time other stuff, and you'll return very nicely and come back as a group and grouped up and not as a single player. But yeah, also the other attacks, like the very long one, the only thing I would say, the samurai is not for super beginners. Like, you just have to have some knowledge here, because otherwise it could give you some anxiety, or you could miss targets because you don't align your cast very properly. So I would say it's just from the potential alone is definitely an S tier, and yeah, stands out compared to some other jobs here. But yeah, we just have the 3 strongest to start with. So yeah, these are all S tier. If you don't believe me, try them out for yourself. It's crazy how strong these are. Okay, so Bard. Yeah, we just do this in a random order, sorry. Bard is, I would say, here, because Bard has potential to grow very strong in advanced and ranked matches. But the problem is that you can't change, or you can't win the game for your team alone by just the Bard itself. You really have to work with your team together. You have a lot of utility stuff happening. You have a very quick silence effect, which is nice. The silence is really, really good. Yeah, I think Bard is solid, but something you can't turn a game around by just yourself, where all of these other jobs I just mentioned can do that. But yeah, like I said, look at the powerful shot animation. The screen wobbles. That's cool. I like that they already and also put some more animations on top of just the whole new system, which is crazy. Yeah, the limit break is also good. It reduces it increases the limit break gauge of other jobs, so other party members. So yeah, if you have samurais with you, you can abuse that maybe by the samurai just smashing targets, or the ninja killing people under 50% life. So yeah, it's a valid option. It's really, really solid. Nothing you could not win a game with, or something, yeah, very, very powerful in a good team. Reaper, kinda on the same thing, but more, of course, individually strong, deals a lot of damage, is very, very powerful when you have set up everything. But I think there's a general rule to all the balancing here, that as the more built up stuff the job has to accomplish, like you have rotations and you have built up systems like Death Warren, for example, where you just stack up some damage here, and then you just release the accumulated damage at once, which is not too bad. It's definitely not too bad, but I feel like has some very big error potential. So yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, but the limit break is fire. I love the limit break. You basically have the Enshroud phase as your limit break, then you move to your target, and you also self-heal a lot with that. If you're a bit more advanced and you know how to play a melee job in PvP, or have some experiences, I guess that the Reaper might be very strong, but it's not as strong as these here. These are still stronger. I would say that's the leading team right now. The same kind of goes for the Machinist, but there is really a significant difference, and that's the limit break. The limit break, if you combine the limit break with good timing, for example, this limit break can kill people. That's 33,000 damage that has a range of 50 yams. You can just snipe people down. So everybody that's below 50% is dead. And if you time that correctly with your analysis and drill, that's 18,000 damage as well. It's very, very quick kill for you and your team. Very easily done. Just having your gauge filled up, and that's very, very powerful. You also can use blast charge while moving, which is not a bad thing. You can knock back targets. You can use wildfire. You have this automated cannon. You can stun targets. The damage output is basically very, very high here on the Machinist, and you also have that the chainsaw can directly kill people with a percent chance. So yeah, I would say we don't want to leave those melee jobs alone. So Machinist, if you can utilize the potential, it's there. It's definitely there, and it's also kind of straightforward to use. All right, Monk, in my opinion, would be my first candidate for this spot here. But you might disagree, so we don't want to demotivate anybody from playing these jobs. So maybe we should stick with this, because Monk is super tanky. That's basically the best thing about it. It's more tanky than a Gunbreaker, for example. So if you're really the team player that wants to be tanky and wants to defeat enemies quickly or with a good sustained build-up, the biggest issue with Monk that I have is it evolves around the basic Monk idea in general. That looks like the following. I'm still in combat. I have AoE. Oh yeah, I have hit other targets. You're right. Sorry. Okay. So the biggest issue I have with Monk is that it consists around just building up your combo. You have a lot of stuff that you can do in between. You can stun with OGCDs, but you basically just have to build up your combo. Otherwise, you're wasting potential with the Rising Phoenix, which makes your combo action stronger. And you just want to use that for Phantom Rush, which is way stronger than the other attacks. So I don't like that. I really don't like that. It's kind of not my design, and you can run into bad situations with this. The damage is not too bad, don't get me wrong, but it's more like you have to consistently check your rotation, because there's also no visual cue for the final blow that will differentiate from the others. So yeah, you have to track your combo progress and then use the Rising Phoenix on the last one, which I'm really, really not a big fan of. So yeah, Monk, it might be an actual in the first B tier, but I think A tier is also fine. If you can utilize the potential, it's not too bad. Yeah, Limit Break is kind of very, very powerful and has some potential for advanced play, so the rank play. But if you dive in and you remove the guard, that's something that's not too impressive for casual play, because not many people are able to utilize these abilities and commands properly. So I think the worst melee so far. Dancer, it's a mixed bag. I don't know. It's nothing that is stronger than a Bard, but there are some very cool and interesting things. Just that the limit break is a bit... Yeah, it's not disappointing, I would say, but you charm enemies and they come to you, and that's kind of like a stun, but it's really not that powerful. The biggest problem I had with the Dancer is there was no chance that I could kill targets without my party, because of damage just being too low. Like, it's not even close to what the other jobs offer. And maybe you have some AoE damage, but let me tell you, AoE damage doesn't care here, except you're doing very, very heavy AoE burst damage, like the Summoner and Red Mage do, or the Samurai does. So yeah, it's kind of a bit disappointing. Damage is too low, and the party utility is not that the best. So it's good. It's more than other jobs have, but it's not game changing. Like, you could save people with the utility that a Bard has, the Dancer has. So yeah, close position is not bad, but it feels like it's falling behind a bit. It could also be here. Like, I don't know. It could be here. We can place it here. Let's just remove this row. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, like I said, it could be here. It could be here. I don't want to demotivate people. Try these jobs out for yourself. It's the best way of enjoying this combat, actually. And I really enjoyed this. Black Mage, easy thing, easy here. It's not because that Black Mage is anywhere bad. It just has too much cast time. It's simple as that. It's just cast time. Cast time is always bad in PvP, especially if it's not compensated by the really, really big damage. And I think that's exactly the case. You build up your stacks here, and look at the damage. That's your basic damage that you're dealing here. which of course does stack. And then this phase, when you applied all the stacks, you would basically start these 2 attacks. That's okay damage. Like, that's 20k, but yeah, you have to get there. And what I really hate about it is that it's target specific. It's target specific. That means, yeah, you can't swap targets. If any target dies quickly to your range, yeah, you're not very spontaneous about that. The only good thing is that burst attack, which deals a lot of damage and also shields you up with the same amount of damage. So with 12k, that is good. That's very defensive. You can also teleport to other enemies. You can teleport to enemies as well. So if somebody is running away from you, you can port back to the enemy, which is very, very good. And yeah, Nightwing is good because you can sleep targets. So a bit of CC is always very valuable. Every form of CC can be a game changer. So yeah, I don't think Black Mage is bad, but I just think that Red Mage and Summoner are so much stronger. Why is Blue Mage here? Blue Mage is not part of this PvP meta, right? It's a 4 non-purifiable AoE CC, but it doesn't damage, so need team to capitalize. Yeah, I think for ranked it could be better, but for casual it's, yeah, just how it is. You have cast time. That's really, really a bad thing. Okay. Let me do something. I feel like there's not much emphasis on this one. And that's where these come into play. First of all, I would say the Summoner gets a very close pass on the S tier because it's so powerful. You have so much potential and still have cast time. So you're falling under some of the issues that the Black Mage has, but not all of them. So if we swap to a Summoner, you have very, very powerful spells. The biggest and most powerful spell you have is this one. You charge into your target, deal a lot of damage, and you also have the weaving spells in between that. So you can really quickly burst down a target, which is very, very powerful. And you also have the range. You have the Radiant Aegis. You can save up yourself by just protecting yourself. Then you can just jump in and finish the target, because Festa deals damage according to how much HP is left. So the more closer people are towards the 0, the more damage Festa deals. And that's very, very powerful to finish targets. And then you have Bahamut phase, where you can really kill a whole party, in my opinion. If you time this correctly, and yeah, also time Bahamut correctly, you can kill them. You can also swap to Phoenix to have a more supportive nature. So that's really, really powerful. Yeah, just off the range and not so much cast time, and having the Crimson Cyclone being so powerful. Yeah, you can bind targets with this, with Mountain Buster, then just jump in and straight kill them with 2 stacks of Fester and your Crimson Cyclone here. That's so much damage in very quick succession. You just draw in, so it's kind of non-avoidable. Very, very, very powerful. But yes, that's where the Red Mage comes into play. I literally couldn't believe how powerful this job is, and I would say this deserves an extra tier this time. Like, Red Mage is insanely broken. It has everything. Red Mage has no downside. It has potential to kill people in one-on-one combat. It has very, very high burst potential. Let me go through this very detailed a bit. So first things first. You have to decide between Black and White Shift. Black Shift grants you more offensive natures and more offensive values for your spells. That means some of your spells deal more damage, or targets receive more damage, like you do with this Frazzle, this ability here. So now targets would receive more damage. And yeah, you have your dual cast ability, but as you can see, that's a quick 12,000 damage in quick succession, and that's your base attack. Like, if you compare that to the other job's base attacks, that's, in my opinion, a bit stronger than that. Quite stronger than that. But now comes the big deal. You can also swap back, and now you have the basic magic barrier that decreases damage taken and increases HP recovered, which also works for the recuperate ability. So for example, if you start into battle and you do this, and people are bursting you down, you can really, really get up there with heavy recuperate procs or with heavy recuperate heal amounts. But now comes the big deal why this is so broken. And I can tell you it's really broken. You just go into melee combat. And no, melee combat doesn't have anything with a job gauge or like it naturally would be in PvE. But here, you can just spam it every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds you have your full melee burst combo available. And look at that already. That's 6,000 potency and has a dot on it. It deals dot damage. And look at the damage. I can increase that by also jumping in with Corp a Corp, which increases damage dealt to the target party, to the target. So look at that. Just look at the damage that I can deal to this target in very, very quick moments. I need to be careful with my jumps. So if you have something, a pillar behind you, the damage is just nothing less than insane. So you start like that. Then you do another one. Then you decrease the damage, go back, and you just crush it. Like, look at that damage. That's not even close to anything what the other jobs offer. And then you could literally just silence them, which leads us to the next overpowered ability. You have a line of sight, or your line attack, silence, and bind effect combined into one spell. And you can see you're already back in the melee rotation here. You can already get back the full burst, which is insane damage. Especially because of Corp a Corp and displacement also dealing a lot of damage. So if you just smash these in to get the last points of damage into your target, it's so powerful. It's not even close to anything else. I have literally killed so many people with that in such a quick time. And then you also have a limit break, which is insanely powerful. That's AoE damage, which also heals you. Look at that. You also get healed by that. So it's kind of clearing the field. It deals a lot of damage. Then you can just follow up and kill targets specifically with this attack. And if you jump out, yeah, by the way, if you jump out, the next spell gets empowered by a lot. I think 20%? No. Yeah, 20%. Like, look at that. You can also just do that, jump out, and get an empowered spell, silence them, and people are just, they can't do anything against it. Really not much against it. So, it's, in my opinion, this is broken. Just because Whir Flare and Whir Holy deal too much damage. That's my 2 cents. Because that's also AoE damage. That's also AoE damage. Look at that. Look at how many targets we just hit by swinging around here. But yeah, try it out for yourself. If you don't believe me, it's, I think, one of the more complex jobs. But this is so powerful. You can just start the game, use your defensive barrier here, get some more healing out, higher healings out, and then swap over and do the big damage. And if you don't want to do the big damage, you can also stay in White Shift and let most of these heal you. Like, then this would heal you up and still deal dot damage. Look at that. Whir Holy would heal you then. It doesn't deal the same amount of damage like Whir Flare does, but it would heal you for the same amount. So that's very, very powerful. Like, I can't even put enough emphasis on how powerful this is. So yeah, Red Mage, in my opinion, is definitely a bit on top of this. Maybe, yeah, we can just put everything down. This would be A tier. This would be, yeah, A tier, B tier, and this would be S tier. So, if you don't like the God tier, but I think this could be an indicator that it's kind of broken. If a Red Mage player knows what to do, game is, yeah, gone quickly, very quickly. So yeah, let's follow up on this. Warrior is the best tank that you can play right now, because Warrior is the only tank that has heal like nobody else. That's the biggest healer, in my opinion, even maybe stronger than the healers themselves. But the AoE stun that you have every 15 seconds is just from another world. Like, this is crazy strong. This stun here, it stuns the target, and it also gets stronger when you have Inner Release. Inner Release is your limit break here, makes basically every attack stronger and, yeah, turn into the Fell Cleave version and all that stuff. Makes everything stronger, and you're simply just super overpowered with that. It's crazy. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's really crazy. Yeah. You also have a lot of self-heal with it. You can also drag targets to your position so that they can't run away from you. You have many charges. Primal Rend not only stuns them, you also charge towards your target, for example, which is insanely powerful. So Warrior is, I think when we would talk about a meta, Warrior would be part of it. Warrior would be part of it. It's really, really powerful. It's very strong. Has good utility. Has good sustain. It's definitely a very top of the line chart and choice here. Okay, so yeah, I think we can make that a bit closer. Dark Knight is definitely on the same level as Gunbreaker. Both of these have their identity and playstyle that feels different. So if you enjoy these, try it out. Try them out. Give them a chance. But I feel like both of these are not as good as a DPS is in dealing damage, but don't offer that much utility to help your party in surviving better at any point. Dark Knight could be a bit better here, but I think both are not the greatest, in my opinion. But I haven't tested them more advanced, so yeah, it could change if you have more knowledge and you know how to utilize them. Like I said, it's a casual view on a casual ranked system here. I just tested out all of them except for some healers, but yeah, just 2 or 3 games yet, so it's not the biggest experience I have. Dark Knight is fun though. Dark Knight is definitely fun though. I don't like the Gunbreaker. That's my personal thing. I don't like it. It just feels weird. It feels weird to have your continuation idea and combo running there. It doesn't work for me. I don't know. Paladin, on the other hand, I would give it a chance. I would put it here. I would put it into S tier because that's basically the only tank that really is a tank. It has self-heal like the Warrior, I would say, or at least close to the Warrior, but also so much utility. A very specific stun that is lasting a very long time. And the best thing about the Paladin is this ability. Let me show you. The best thing is actually, sorry about the glamours, they are fucked up here, is Guardian. You can really protect somebody in your party, soak up all the damage that the party member would receive otherwise. And the biggest reason why this could be the most powerful ability ever is that when somebody is stunned and can't heal himself, you can just throw in the Guardian and then heal yourself up. You can heal yourself up. And you also have something like Holy Sheltron that will heal up, or that will give you a barrier of 12,000 potency here, which also then explodes when the potency is not consumed. So it deals 12,000 damage to all people around. And what's really powerful is that when you use Phalanx, which is your limit break, you have the blade works. These are all the classical blades that you know will turn into the Blade of Faith, dealing a lot of AoE damage. Then you have Blade of Truth dealing AoE damage and Blade of Valor dealing AoE damage. And during that time, you're reduced damage taken by 50%. So that's very, very powerful attack to clear the field or to stand there to give your teams the time that they need to recover, for example, and still put some threat and danger into your enemy's face. So that's, I would say, it's really good. It's really good. So far, I would say the strongest and most real tank that you can play right now for PvP. Warrior might be a bit stronger. I don't know. It's hard to tell. And yeah, I would say we can finish this very quickly by putting this here, this here, this here, and maybe this here. White Mage is the best healer overall because White Mage has the biggest amount of CC, crowd control. For those of you that don't know this term yet, it basically includes all the skills that you transform enemies, you stun enemies, you push enemies to the side, you bind enemies. Basically everything that lets your enemy lose control over the character. And White Mage is really, really powerful because it has the transformation spell, transforming enemies into into other creatures. I don't know exactly. But it's really, really powerful. It has the really, really good heal or really good self-sustain. It doesn't deal a lot of damage or tons of damage, but yeah, the utility is key here. Utility of White Mage is the best from all jobs, so I guess White Mage could be one of the essential parts of your party, and if you want to put up a team, White Mage would be part of it, in my opinion. Sage deals the most damage from all healers with by far, but I don't know. That on the other hand, it doesn't feel like being very, very efficient in healing other players, because the biggest problem of the healers right now is that they are kind of not necessary to survive. You can survive by yourself by just using recuperate very, very keenly, and then if you get focused down, you can use guard, move to behind a pillar, and then use your standard issue elixir. That will give you access to recuperate again. And then you can go back into combat and use recuperate again. And if you play a bit safe, maybe guard is already active, and you can basically survive the whole time. And healer is something like, it gives this extra cherry on top in survivability, but it's not necessary to survive. You don't necessarily need a healer, and that's really good. That means the system can live without a healer, which in my opinion is insanely useful and insanely good design as well. Yeah, Astrologian and Scholar, hard to tell. Haven't really played them myself, just fought against them, and I felt like they just don't offer that much of an advantage that, a Red Mage couldn't offer, for example. I don't know. It's hard to tell because, Red Mage has also the very powerful silence in a cone, in a line, which goes very, very far. It's a super strong opener to just put enemies into stalemate, and then just have a very clean opener for yourself where the enemy can't do that properly. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. It's kind of necessary because healers were gods before that in the previous patches, so they had to do something about it. And if you play a healer, I think you have to get more into the state of mind to play something that controls the enemy team and gives your team a bit more confidence. Not just like the pure, I'm spamming my heal and nobody can die. People have to do that by themselves. If they can't manage to not die by themselves, they will die quickly. They have to use recuperate properly, and that's basically all it is about. So that's my tier list. I don't know, Blue Mage doesn't play PvP, right? Oh, no. It's here now. It's God tier. Let's put it to God tier. Yeah, that's basically my PvP tier list for casual ranked matches, but you can play all of these, and as you can see, they're all kind of close. I think I have killed somebody with each job that I played yet, so it's possible. You are not falling behind if you just choose a certain job here. And like I said, some of these are just more advanced, like working in a very solid team, like the Bard, the Dancer, or Black Mage when you have good setups, or Reaper when you really know how to play the Reaper. Monk if you need a very tanky guy. All have their advantages and disadvantages, except the Red Mage. I think Red Mage might be a bit broken. Red Mage is just, it doesn't have any disadvantage. The offensive power is strong. Defensive support is strong. You can burst down people. You can grind down a mass of people. So very, very powerful AoE damage. They have to fix the Red Mage. I think they are just too strong. But all right. That's basically my 2 cents on the PvP tier so far. I will test it out more, and I will let you know more if something came to my mind. And of course, let me know what you think. That's I think the most important thing for these videos. Thank you so much. Thank you.